What's up, people of the internet? Hope the year 2021 has been treating you so well so far. At least for me, it's been quite busy. You know, I really apologize for not being able to push out content to you guys, but the year 2021 has been quite busy in the beginning of January. So at least now I can kind of catch my breath because, you know, I took upon myself this specific challenge that the famous YouTuber Chris Hau posted on his Instagram of posting one photo a day for 30 days. And in my head, I'm like, what am I getting myself into? You know, I don't do photography. I never done it that much. I do it for thumbnails, but never really kind of composed and did a photo shoot of something ever. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. So how did I start? You know, I think that's a very, very common question that a lot of people ask themselves when they're starting something new. And at least for my case, this is photography. So I was like, all right, I don't want to stress myself out. I don't want to make this a lot more complicated than it should be for my first photo of the day. So I was like, all right, what should I do? And I kind of reminded myself, oh, you know, and this kind of leads me to tip number one, which is to keep things simple. You know, looking around my apartment, what should I photograph? What's the most easiest thing I should do? And I thought, okay, I have no idea how to photograph these things. So I was like, all right, I've done flat lay in the past. Maybe I can start there. And I kind of went through that aspect of, okay, I have a theme of what I want to go about. Now, what should I actually do for a flat lay? And then before I was like, okay, I got all my everyday carry. So I was like, okay, cool. I got all my everyday carry stuff. I reached into my pocket, and over here it's actually I got my knife, and I had my phone and my watch at the time. And I was like, okay, I can use these things, at least just these, only these three things. And this is what this photo turned out to be. But at least I didn't get this photo in the beginning. So at first I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a top down. And then I'm gonna do something from the side. And then I'm gonna do it from the straight on. And maybe it's this little angle, which became what the photo is at an angle. But, you know, I think that trial and error was part of the process of, if this was a lot more complicated of a photo, this would have been so much more harder to photograph. So keeping things simple, at least for me, when I started to learn this new area, was a great thing to kind of remind myself that a great photo especially, doesn't have to be so crazy. Doesn't have to be so many things in it. You know, if you can make things simple, it'll draw the attention, and as long as it's aesthetically pleasing, you got your photo. And this kind of leads me to tip number two for other photos for day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on. And I was like, okay, I gotta keep this simple aspect going. What can I do? And I thought, okay, I got my boots. I am very in love with boots. I got my Red Wings Iron Rangers, and this is what this photo looks like. And I was like, all right, so what do I do with these boots? And I thought, you know, to keep things simple, what do I kind of put into the background? Outside my balcony, I got a brick wall. And I was like, okay, this is my background. I think spicing up, which is tip number two, is if you can put something in your foreground, which is, you know, the subject that's closest to the viewer, or something in your background, which is the farthest from the viewer, I think that kind of draws the attention to your subject so much more if you're able to kind of have that there, if that makes sense. So at least in this case, you know, for my boots, I had in the foreground my boots, the middle ground, my right foot, and in the background it was the brick wall. All of those textures in the background kind of drew the attention in the front, where it's just like, this is so clean, this is so nice. At least for me, I really enjoyed that, and, you know, seems like other people enjoyed it as well. So, you know, I think that tip kind of spices it up. If you're able to kind of put something in the background, it kind of swoops you into what your main subject is. That kind of makes your photos so much cleaner, so much simpler, and so much better. Tip number three, which is kind of what this challenge is, a post every day. Keep taking photos. I'm not gonna lie to you, sitting down and thinking, what do I photograph next? I guess the whole entire mind process of creative ideas and get those juices pumping in your brain is really what benefits you so much more, at least for me. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't know what things I don't like to photograph, the things I do like to photograph, and the things I need to work on in terms of my photography. You know, I've seen things that don't work. I was like, okay, so I make things, I'll have all these trinkets maybe, and I'll have this kind of pop out more to the foreground. That didn't work out. That was for like this green knife. I liked it, but, you know, I didn't really enjoy it as much as others. And I kind of thought without this tip, with tip number 1, which is keep things simple, and tip number 2, kind of spicing it up and putting things in the foreground and background, I wouldn't be able to learn that at those 2 aspects without tip number 3. So I guess tip number 3 should be tip number 1, but I think tip number 3 is very important because you kind of show yourself you can keep doing it, you can keep driving yourself to get better and better, and you know, you just start to enjoy it more and more and kind of figure out what is a photo that I like, that looks be dope as hell, and you know, that everyone else would like too. So I think that is kind of why I want to draw upon such a simple and yet obvious tip that to make better photography. Okay, so for the practicality, I think what more of a way to do it than right now in front of you. So I'm gonna look around. Tip number 1, which is keep things simple. So I'm gonna grab this white knife that I just recently bought. I got this mini bug out from Benchmade. It's black and white. So let's do that. And the other white things, I can use maybe my this Apple wallet, the MagSafe. So I have some white accents here too. So I got, you know what? I'm gonna do something black and white. Let's keep things simple. And other than that, I got my iPods. So my iPods. Wow. I got my AirPods. I think this is probably the photo right here. So I got my Apple wallet, my MagSafe, my black and white Benchmade mini bug out, and I got my AirPods. And I guess this kind of draws upon the simplicity of, you know, black and white. So I was like, this is gonna be the theme, something black and white. What should I do in my foreground? And I thought, I guess for this case, I could do what's very similar to my other photo that I posted before, which is this photo. Pretty much an everyday carry one, but in this case, I guess this is more of a black and white. I have a theme of what I actually want to go for, and it's a little more of a different flavor of everyday carry. So I'll do something to replicate just like that. I'm gonna stand up, put myself on my camera later on as you do it, and then lo and behold, this is what the photo is gonna be. So in this case, you can see the photo and it has, you know, my feet in the background, and the middle ground / like foreground, you see all these things, and you kind of see like the accents of my sweatshirt and my shoes and everything. So it kind of draws the attention of things blurred out, and it kind of focuses your eyes towards the middle portion of the photo, which is my knife, my wallet, and my AirPods. So I think if that kind of makes sense, before, when I say by taking more photos, don't be so satisfied, because when I put my tripod and my camera up and, you know, looking over me, obviously it's not gonna take one try. I gotta take a couple, like maybe like 10, 20, 30 if I don't have the right angle. Sometimes when you're kind of doing things from like up there, you're like, so like you gotta take some more photos. So that's, I guess, kind of where tip number 3 kind of implements himself too. Don't be so satisfied with one thing. You might not like it in post. You might think looks like crap. Oh my gosh, I have to do this again. You know, keep things simple, spice it up a little bit, putting something in the background and foreground, and simply enough, take more photos, just keep going at it, and I think you'll just eventually get better and better as you go through this photography journey. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining in. Honestly, it means so much to me able to join me on this videography and now photography journey. You know, there's a lot of things 2021 I have planned for B-roll and now photography, maybe some vlogs, who knows, we'll see where it goes. And yeah, if you like this content, feel free to like this video, subscribe if you're new here. If you want to interact with me, you know, leave a comment down below as well in this video, or even DM me on my Instagram page. I'll leave my handle like right here. And you know, feel free to say hi, tips and tricks if you want any, or just in general, any challenges you really like. It can be so random or so hard. Maybe I'll try them and I'll make a video about it. I don't know if it'll successfully work, but I'm more than welcome. 2021 is gonna be dope. And yeah, stay safe. Hope your family and friends stay well. And yeah, God bless.